Good morning, good morning, good morning. Sorry I'm a bit late this morning. It's 10:15 on Friday, March 15th, and I'm doing Potency Part 2. Because of daylight savings time, I did not adjust for daylight savings. I just was going to come on in 45 minutes, but that I want to keep it at 11 a.m. Eastern, so I am on a little bit late now. My name is Emma Banks. I am a classical homeopath, and I admin a group of lovely ladies, and you are so welcome to be here. We are getting new people in the group from referrals from other groups, so that's really nice to see. All of these videos, I've done over 20 videos, maybe 40, a lot of videos. Lauren has put them into a folder. So if you're looking for a video on any topic, you can go ahead and check out that folder. Go in there too. I have videos explaining what homeopathy is. If you're new to the group, I really recommend taking a look at that because homeopathy is actually a distinct form of complementary medicine. It is not naturopathy. It is which means it's not herbal medicine, which means it's not colloidal silver, onions on the feet. It's not essential oils. So it's not a catch-all term for everything natural. It's actually a distinct form of medicine based on the principle of like cures like. And we have a specific way that these medicines, homeopathic medicines, are made, which I'll explain a bit about today. So I really recommend taking a look at what homeopathy is, or just post, oh, you know what, maybe I'll do that if no one else does. Just post what is homeopathy, and we will get some replies from people in the group. A lot of what we do here is help each other out with different acute short situations at home to find the homeopathic remedy that's going to help the person out. But we also discuss everything else. Great. So today I'm doing part 2 of a video that I did last week, which was a request from a member about potency in homeopathy. This video is not really for people who are just getting into homeopathy. I recommend really learning about what it is first. It's sort of like a special interest video for those who have been working with homeopathy for a while and want a deeper dive into this. And I'm really talking about constitutional potencies. Last time I talked a bit about what potencies to use in an acute, and just to give you a recap on that, I usually recommend 30C. But it depends on the intensity, but I like 30C would be the one to start with. And the kit that I recommend now is the basic 36 kit from Helios with the basic 36 remedies, and Helios is the name of the laboratory that makes it. And it comes with a little booklet on how to use the remedies. So if you're just getting into homeopathy, that's what I recommend, along with my classes. I'll be doing more this year. Excuse me. I'll have those dates out soon, but yeah. So for those who are have been around homeopathy longer and would like more of an explanation on potency, I'm doing part 2. So we did part 1 a couple weeks ago, 2 weeks ago, I think, and then it's in that file. And then we're doing part 2 today. So I said that I would talk about, how homeopathic remedies are made, how the different potencies are made, and then I was going to address the term mega potency. And then, talk about our range of potencies. Last time I talked about a lot about Sankaran's system. Now I'm going to talk about how the remedies are made. So while I was in homeopathy school in Canada, in Quebec, I worked at a laboratory which was then known as Homeodel, and it was since been bought by Schmidt-Nagel, they're really, really high quality remedies. And Schmidt-Nagel has laboratories in Europe, and then they have the one in Quebec because the people who had started it were retiring, so they passed it along to them. And I don't think they were producing some products in the United States, but they don't send directly to Americans now. But maybe their European lab does. Anyways, it's a good company, Swiss company. So I worked in that lab while I was studying to be a homeopath. studying to be a practitioner, working with people. I was working in the lab as a lab tech assistant, making the homeopathic remedies. So we got our, so since this video is for people who have been using homeopathy for a while, I'm not going to go through in depth how the homeopathic remedy is made. I'm going to talk about the difference between the different potencies. So what is, not all, like, this isn't common knowledge because, okay, scratch that, starting again. So homeopathic remedies, there's two basic types of potencies. There's one that's the original material diluted in 1 in 100, and that's C for centesimal. So we use Roman numerals, and we use Latin to describe the names, right? That's because homeopathy is completely international, and we're using information from all over the world, different languages. We have to use the same names of we use the remedy names in Latin so they don't get mixed up. So we use Roman numerals in Latin. So we have C for centesimal, and then we have X for decimal. In the United States, I've seen like the 30X potencies quite a bit, which is cool because they're great for starting out. They're not very strong, and you can repeat them. The centesimal are a bit stronger. Oh, I forgot to lock my door. I always do this. Okay, great. J'ai oublié de fermer de barrer la porte, mais c'est correct, c'est. Sorry guys, I'll be right back. Je suis en train d'enregistrer. I'm making it.
Yeah, I am. Nope.
Yeah, I do. I'm talking to a group of people on the internet. I'm doing a talk. Sorry about that. Forgot to lock my door. Okay, so this isn't going to be a long, this is pretty straightforward talk too. Okay, so the C is for centesimal, and then we have X for decimal in the United States. So that's 1 in 10 for the X or potency, and then 1 in 100 for the C centesimal potency. We usually use a centesimal more than the X, so that's what I'm going to talk about today. And that's what I talked about last time too, when I said starting with the like 7 or 9C, then going to 30, then going to 200, 1M, 10M, 50M, etc. Those we're talking about centesimal, so 1 in 100. Those 1 in 100 remedies are made in two ways. Originally, okay, there is a third, before I talk about this, there's a third group that are called the LMs, like LM1, LM2, LM3, LM4. Sam says, love the little interruption. Yeah, now they're playing chasing each other around the house. That's good. What was I saying? Oh yeah, the LM1, LM2, LM3. Though that's a different potency scale that's not used as much. It's very gentle. It's 1 in 50,000 is LM1. But there's a bit more. There's more steps to that process. Not all labs make it because it's a bit more involved to make, and it's not used as much, but that's what that is. So we'll go back to the C. So C for centesimal. This is what we see when we're going to the store and we're saying like 7C, 9C, 12C, 15C, 30C, 200C are the ones that you're mostly going to see at the pharmacy or the health food store, or wherever you purchase your remedies in person. These are 1 in 100, and they're made in two different ways. One is to change the vial with every potency. So to make, say, go from 5C to 6C, we're going to have 5C in this vial. We're going to take 1% of the 5C and then put 99% of the 6C into a new vial, and that gets succussed. And then to make the 6 to the 7C, we're taking 1% of the 6C, going into 99% of the 7C in a different vial. So this is a CH potency. H for Hahnemannian, and Hahnemannian meaning, in this instance, we're changing the vial every time. Usually potencies between 1 and 30C are made in this way. We change the vial each time. Usually they're made by hand up to that point because making them on a machine would mean putting it on the machine, taking it off the machine, putting it on, taking it off. It's easier just to do it by hand. The succussion can be done on the machine though, but that changing from one vial to another is usually done by hand. And that's usually we're changing from one vial to another, and that's Hahnemannian. So that's CH, which often is just labeled C. Okay? Now, there's another way to make the C potency remedies, so 1 in 100, is using the K method. And this is for K for Korsakoff, who was a homeopathic doctor who had limited access to vials, didn't want to make, up to 200 in 200 different vials. So he just kept it all in the same vial. And what he did is he had the size of vial. A vial is a glass container that contains the remedy. So he had a glass vial that was the right size so that when he made, say we're at 5C in this vial, okay? So you have 5C arnica in the vial. So he dumps out that 5C liquid, pours out that 5C liquid, and then what's left over in the glass, because if you pour water out of a glass, it's 100% of the water doesn't leave. There's still I have water in here. If I pour it out, right? There's still the trace of water left in the inside, right? So he had the right size so that when the walls of the glass are fully covered and then the liquid is poured out from inside, there's still exactly, well, I shouldn't say exactly, there's still 1% covering the inside of that glass, so that when he fills it up with the 99% water again to make the 6C and succusses it, he just needs to use one vial. And this is how remedies are made on machines. So usually labs will do 1 to 30C by hand using different vials. Some labs, like Helios, they go up to 200C by hand using a different vial every time. Some labs from 30C onwards, they're going on the machine using one vial. Unfortunately, in the US, I have found that this difference isn't usually labeled. It's usually just labeled 200C, whether it's 200CH or if it's 200CK. Some companies label them. Boron, interestingly, this is the biggest company. They have CK, CH, and C. So I'm guessing that C there is just a wild card, and CK is CK, and CH is CH. So yeah, between 30 and 200, it depends on the lab. If, like Helios, they're really, they think it's important to go up to 200C by hand, so they go up to 200C by hand. They're also a huge laboratory, so they can have the staff for that. In a smaller, more artisanal, say, laboratory, they might already be putting it on the machine at 30 because it's going to take much less staff time to put the remedy onto a machine to do that pouring and succussion, pour and succussion, pour and succussion, like it's quite a bit of work, right? If we're doing it by hand. So they put it on the machine at 30C, and so the 200C is the 200CK. So it's been all in the same vial. It's technically they put it on the machine at 7C to go up to 200CK if we're talking about a true CK. So what most homeopaths, what's often usually used is up to this 200CH, so in a different vial, and then when we go up from there, it's on the machine, because going from 200 to 1M, and 1M is 1,000, so it's gone through, if we were going to change vials each time, it would be 1,000 vials. And there are thousands of homeopathic remedies, so we're not going to go, if we want 1Ms in all of our homeopathic remedies, like we're not going to use a different vial for to go up to 1,000 each time. After 1M, it's 10MK. or 10M. That's 10,000. So if we did that in a different vial every time, there'd be 10,000 vials. That's why they go on machines, they use the one vial to go up to those higher potencies. Now, sometimes 200CH and 200CK are used interchangeably. Sometimes they're not. What I've noticed for this, and there's so many subtleties to talk about here, but I'm just going to say, yes, sometimes they're used interchangeably, sometimes they're not. When they're used interchangeably, it's usually an acute situation. So we're talking about, remember I talked about last time, but it's more about intensity. In a chronic situation, I've seen a big difference between using a 200CH and a 200CK. It's the depth of where it can help that person in their emotional body. And it's, I explained it to someone saying like a 200CH, if you get right that potency, that exact, if you know that exact place that you have to touch with the remedy, that's a 200CH. But if it's sort of a range, then you have 200CK, which it's just a lot more gentle. We see less aggravations in constitutional care with the 200CK, although not everyone is taught to differentiate the two, which is unfortunate because it's such, it's more popular in some schools and usually more popular in certain parts of Europe to use the CK rather than the CH, whether in the United States the 200CH is more popular. I don't know why. It's just different. Different things have been developed in different parts of the world. I've been asked about megapotencies, which was a coin termed by, I found out was a coin termed by a certain homeopath who is looking at, from what I understand, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, but this is what I did. This is from what my little research did, is that who termed the coin megapotencies, because for me it's just high potencies, say, or just potencies. She wanted to, found that they helped relieve emotional, psychological, trauma healing. So more than the minor potencies. I don't know if she used the word minor potency, but if we're going mega, we should go minor, still lower potencies. And then the other thing that's come up is some people have been concerned about, wow, using this high of a potency, isn't it too strong? So yes and no. Okay, this is why I suggest the 30C, because it's a pretty low potency, but if you're having an acute, you could be giving even lower, 7C for that, but if you're having an acute, it has a certain level of intensity that you want to be hitting already. Otherwise, with a 7C, you might have to repeat it every 2 minutes. But with a 30C, you're going to be able to see a difference from it, whereas it's not going to be too high because a 200CH can be way too strong. And it can cause an aggravation, which means, so say for a headache, I had a homeopath, I went to a presentation by her, and she said when I was just starting out, all I had was the 200CH. She had a kit from Helios. I think it was Helios in 200CH. So she's like, yeah, I was so good at getting the remedy, but the potency was too high. So people would have a headache. They describe her headache. She'd give them the 200CH, and immediately the headache would get more painful. But then after 15 minutes or so, 20 minutes, 5 minutes, it would dissipate completely. Because it was the right remedy. It was just in a higher potency. So if she had been giving the 30C for that headache, that person probably wouldn't have gotten the increase, which we call the aggravation, the increase in pain before relief, but they might have had to take the 30C maybe 3 times to get rid of the headache, but they wouldn't have had that. So that's why we don't like giving a higher potency than the person needs. Although if it's the right remedy, it still works. You just get that intensity more intense before it gets better. So that's sort of been the concern with the 1M, 10M using those mega potencies, is what if we're doing that to the person? What if it's too much? The interesting thing is, though, is because, like I said, when we're going up in those potencies, they probably have been from 7C gone on the K scale. So certain homeopaths will say that a 9CH is equal to a 200K, and then a 10MK is actually a lower potency than a 200C because it's made on the K instead of the Hahnemannian. Maybe you followed me there. If you followed me through all this, congratulations, and I hope it helps to clear some things up. So I'm not giving you an answer like last time I told you about what potencies match to what state. And so someone can, certain people can need 1Ms, whereas someone else in the same situation might need, Sam says, not confusing at all. Don't worry. I don't know how anyone can understand this without having actually manipulated the objects. Like I understand because I manipulated this over a long period of time and made these things in my hands, right? Just talking about theoretically, I don't know if I'm not sure how much is going to come across, but I wanted to explain to you behind that. So some people are going to need mega potencies more than others. Some people, yeah, right. Some people in the exact same situation, they're going to need a 10MK or 50MK, where someone else is going to need a 9C. It's because of our susceptibility. And that's why in homeopathy, we're always taught, when someone says, what remedy do I need for this? We always have to ask, okay, well, what are your symptoms? Because we're not prescribing the remedy on this, we're prescribing on your susceptibility to that. So the same thing with the potencies, whether it's a minor potency or a mega potency, a CH or a CK, we're matching that to your susceptibility. And different people can need different things. Some people, when they have an acute thing, it can already go into that intensity of the 1M, or it can be at the 7C. That's why I just say 30C is great. So that's it. Thank you. All right. Ask more questions if you have more questions. Yeah, welcome to the group, everyone. Bye.